This tutorial shows how to integrate two virtual private clouds, VPCs, with peering connection. A VPC is a logically isolated virtual network in your AWS account. You can use VPCs not only to organize resources, but also to customize your network security. In this video, you're going to learn the basics of network management in the cloud, accessing public and private resources, creating a virtual private network and underlying resources, such as subnets and route tables, connecting VPCs in different regions with VPC peering. First step. Create VPC Ohio. In this step, you create the infrastructure for a VPC in the Ohio region. This infrastructure consists of a VPC, public and private subnets, route tables, and an internet gateway. Each subnet corresponds to an availability zone. An availability zone is a distinct and isolated location within a region where AWS keeps physical resources. You need two route tables, one for each subnet, because only the public subnet has access to the internet through the internet gateway. Open the VPC console, and start by creating a new VPC. Name it, and set the CIDR. The CIDR sets the private IP range and the number of hosts supported by your VPC. Next, create two subnets. Notice that both subnets are created equally, regardless if they are public or private. The name is the only difference for now. When you create a new VPC, AWS creates a route table that associates all existing subnets by default. Name the existing route table, and create another one. At this point, both route tables are equal, apart from one is the main route table. Associate the public subnet with the public route table. Then create an internet gateway. An internet gateway creates a door to the internet. This enables your resources to send and receive traffic to and from the internet. After creating your internet gateway, attach it to your VPC. And edit the public route table route. This enables sending traffic to the internet. Second step. Create VPC Canada. In this step, you create the same infrastructure you created before, but in the Canada region. Switch over to the Canada region. And repeat the same procedures you undertook in the previous step. Take note that the CIDR is different from that we used in the Ohio region. This is a requirement. Third step. Launch instances. In this step, you launch 3 EC2 instances. An instance is launched in each private subnet. As they are private, there is no way to direct access these instances. Therefore, you need a third instance, a bastion, in the public subnet. Because instances in the Ohio region are in the same VPC, a cloud user can access the private instance via the public instance. However, a VPC peering is needed in order to access the private instance in the Canada region. Your setup also considers security groups for each instance. Therefore, you should set inbound rules that enable access to the instances. Go to the EC2 console in the Ohio region and launch your private instance. Choose your sales VPC and the private subnet. Then, launch your public instance. As before, choose your sales VPC, but select the public subnet instead. Because this instance is exposed to the internet in a public subnet, create an inbound rule that enables only your IP to access the instance. Add an inbound rule to the private instance security group so your public instance can access it. You can do it by choosing the security group of the public instance as your source. Then, test whether you can connect to your public instance. Everything seems okay. Now try to ping the private instance. This shows that you can reach both public and private instances in your Ohio VPC. Switch over to the Canada region and launch an instance in your private subnet. Add an inbound rule that enables access from the IP range of your Ohio VPC. Fourth step. Create peering connection. Back to your terminal, try to access the Canada private instance through your public Ohio instance. As you can see, that is not possible because there is no link between Ohio and Canada VPCs. This is the reason you need a peering connection. A peering connection creates an internal route between a pair of VPCs. This enables private instances to communicate as they were in the same network. Head over to the VPC console and create a peering connection. A peering connection has two ends. One is the requester, whereas the other is the acceptor. The acceptor must agree to establishing a peering connection. In this video, our Ohio VPC plays the role of a requester, and the Canada VPC is the acceptor. Switch over to the Canada region to accepting the peering request. Once the peering connection is established, you need to set the route in your route tables. Any attempt to access this address range is routed to the VPC peering connection. Switch back to the Ohio region, and edit both route tables. Notice that the IP range targets the Canada VPC. Back to the terminal, you can now try to reach the Canada private instance from Ohio's public instance. Next, we try to ping Canada's private instance from the Ohio's private instance. To do so, we use the Ohio's public instance as a bastion. First off, copy the key pair to the public instance. Then, access Ohio's public instance and use the key pair to access Ohio's private instance. Finally, ping Canada's private instance using its private IP. Last step. Clean up. To clean up the resources used in this video, start by terminating the instances. Second, remove routes. And delete the peering connection. Detach the Internet gateway. And delete it. Next, delete your subnets. And the extra route table. Finally, delete your VPC. Don't forget to repeat the same steps for the Canada region.